Do you know how a business dies? Most businesses that die don't just die the day they died. Most businesses that die, they die slowly over time. In fact, I would bet that in the last 3 months, you've gone into a failing business and maybe you didn't notice or maybe you didn't know. Sometimes the signs are there, right? And today I want to talk about how to turn around a failing business. When a business is failing, there are a couple of signs. By my reckoning and in my experience, there are about 7 major signs you need to look out for. Whenever these signs show up in a business, you need to be like really worried. So, in some businesses, one sign is customer churn. You notice that a lot of your loyal customers are not coming back. Customers who used to buy from you, you're no longer seeing them, right? If that happens in a business, you need to start getting worried because there is something that is happening that you are not yet aware of. Sometimes it may be competition. Sometimes it could be that whatever it is that you sell to these customers has lost relevance. Sometimes it could be that the value you used to provide to them, they don't see it anymore. But that is usually a red flag when there's customer churn. Now, this happens on the outward side. On the outward side, what is more worrying is another sign of a failing business, the second of the seven, which is employee churn. In this case, you're not just losing customers, but you're also losing employees. You have people who work for you. Some of them have been working for you for a long time. Some of them, you hired them a couple of months back and they don't stay and they are leaving. That is usually a sign of a business that is going down. Unfortunately, many people who are owners of dying businesses do not realize. In fact, a business can die over the course of 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, 1 year. The interesting thing about this kind of death is that it is chronic. The death of the business happens over time. And it is not as if the owners of this business don't try to do something. Sometimes they see the signs that a business that used to give you a particular amount of profits every month or every year is somehow dwindling and it's not able to deliver on what it used to give you before. So, but the problem is that when people try to save a failing business, they end up doing the things that are not directly related to why the business is failing in the first place, which is why rescuing a failing business or turning around a failing business is more like a surgical intervention. The way many people handle it is like they are dealing with the headache when the business actually has malaria. Yes, headaches are a symptom of malaria, but if you need to solve the problem, you need to deal with the underlying problems. If you are curing a symptom, you are just buying time, but the problem is still going to persist, right? One thing some people do is they pump more money into the business. Now, if you think about it, the average person would believe that money will solve all problems. Particularly if you have a business problem, it may be an issue of money, and then you just pour money into the business. What I've found in my experience in over 10 years plus, right? And I've seen this kind of thing happen in different types of businesses across different types of industries. You keep pouring money into that failing business, and the money is draining out of the business, and the business is not really improving. That is usually a sign that you are solving the wrong problem. So if there's any problem that money cannot solve in a business, one of the places I've seen it is when you have a failing business and the root cause of that failure is not exactly, financially related. Sometimes it can be around culture. Sometimes it's a leadership or management problem. Sometimes it's a market-based problem, either because of competition or because the environment in which you do business has changed, but your business has not yet adapted, right? So that's what mistake people make. They pour money into the business. Meanwhile, the money is already a leaking, but the business is already a leaking bucket. So any money you pour into the business just flows right out to waste, but you don't see any remarkable improvement in the performance of the business. The second mistake people make is they talk about rebranding. Let's go and rebrand the business. So the business is going through very hard times, the business is failing, and then you just believe that if you give it a different logo, change the colors, call it a different name, all of a sudden the business is going to be reborn. Unfortunately, that is a cosmetic approach to solving that problem, right? It may help your ego, it may boost your emotional well-being, but it's not going to do much to improve the chances of that business. And that's because, like I said before, there are 7 major signs you need to look out for, and there are 5 major sources that most failures in business come from. If you are not looking at the right sources of the business failure, you will end up spending a lot of money, putting in a lot of time and energy, but you will not be able to save that business, right? So turning around the business, a lot has to happen from the inside before you then start to put any cosmetic things like maybe rebranding and things like that. A lot more has to go into trying to rescue that business. Sometimes the problem is operational, right? You just find out that either because you don't have sufficient capacity or you don't have the right people, or it could even be a cultural issue. The culture in your business has collapsed. And there are different reasons why the culture in your business can collapse. That will just take us into a totally different conversation. So what happens is that your people have lost faith in that business, and your people don't have the right level of motivation to work in that business. No matter how much you offer, I need you to make note of that. No matter how much you offer, you will just notice that the business has become a ghost of itself, right? So what I've done is I have put together a course package that directly talks to people in this kind of situation. Some of the people who have failing businesses, the problem started when they distanced themselves from the business. Maybe the person used to run the business in Nigeria and now they had to relocate abroad. And all of a sudden, problems have started. Another flavor of this is intergenerational transfer. So the parents used to run this business, but now they've transferred it to the next generation, and now the business is failing. Sometimes it's a systemic issue. Government has changed one policy, or there's a major competitor that has come in and has changed the landscape, the competitive landscape of the market, and then the problems have come in. So the good thing about businesses is that businesses are resilient. And like I told you before, most businesses that fail do not just fail instantly, they fail over time. So what this means is that you have some time to turn around that ship before it hits the rocks. And it is very, very possible if you know the right things to do. The challenge, again, I know I've mentioned two mistakes that people make when they try to turn around the business. They try to pump in money. Many times that doesn't work. They try to rebrand the business. Many times that's just too cosmetic to even cause any marked improvements in the business. Another mistake that people make is whenever you have a business that is failing, two things are required: decisive action and the right decisions. Unfortunately, many people are not able to take decisive action because sometimes this will require making very hard choices. But guess what? If you don't make those hard choices, you are going to lose that business. You may have just 6 months to go, or one year to go, but that business will definitely go down if you do not make the right choices and take decisive action. This will be the equivalent sometimes on some of the engagements I've been on. This will be the equivalent of cutting off your left arm to save your body, or cutting off your right leg to save your body. Some people become so emotionally attached to that part of their business that they are unwilling to cut off that limb that is causing the problem to save the entire body, and eventually they lose the whole body, right? So if you are in this kind of situation where you have a business that is showing signs of failure, you have a business that is in the middle of major challenges, you've tried everything you can, but still it looks like you've not been able to steady the ship, you are exactly the kind of person I created this course for, right? The course is titled How to Turn Around a Failing Business. And inside of that course, you're going to learn the 7 warning signs of a failing business. You're going to understand the 5 major sources. So if you're going to intervene in the business, these are the 5 major areas you should focus on. Some people end up doing guesswork. Some people end up blaming unnecessary things. Some people say it's a spiritual problem. Their business used to do well last year, but then they fought with somebody and that person cost their business, and now their business is going down. I'm not disputing that the spirituality works, right? But it is your responsibility to do what you have to do before you can end up blaming anything else, right? The supernatural is still far away from where you currently are. There are some things you need to do. There are some interventions you need to make in that business to turn the business around and make it eventually work. This thing is not rocket science. It's not supernatural. It's actually logic. And there are people like me who are trained and versed in these kinds of things. So the thing is, whenever turnarounds come in, they are usually like a very engaging project. And because I know I cannot do it for everybody, I've decided to teach everything I know on the subject. So if you have a business that is struggling, you sense that this business is failing, you need strategies to turn around your business, especially if you've tried different things. I want you to take a chance with this course. This course is only available to people within my BMG community as from level 2 upwards. So this course is only available in the BMG Academy. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, you've never heard of the BMG before, just follow the link on your screen right now, jointhebmg.com. So jointhebmg.com takes you to the platform where you can learn about the different levels of the BMG. At level 1, we have a free Telegram group where I give tips just like this. I share a lot of things I don't share on social media. And within the free Telegram group, you get to participate in my monthly business clinics. In level 2, we have the BMG Academy. That is where all my detailed, comprehensive, and signature courses are. For example, on how to turn around a failing business. I have other courses on cost management, how to optimize profits, how to raise funds to start or grow a business, how to hire capable people, how to develop strategic partnerships. There are now over 30-something courses on that platform. That's level 2. At level 3, I work with people one-on-one. That's a BMG consult. So if you're having troubles with your business, you need to turn around the business, and you want a confidential and private conversation with me for 30 minutes, 1 hour or so, you can join level 3, which is the BMG consult. And of course, there's level 4, which is a premium. That is only available to a select few. Even right now, I'm fully booked. There's no space on BMG Premium right now. So just follow the link on your screen. That will take you to the platform, and let's get started. One trap that people who have failing businesses run into is they end up doing a lot of trial and error. Guess what? You don't have time. That business is on the clock, right? So rather than wasting your time and money trying different things or blaming different things that may be responsible for the failure of that business, there's a way professionals turn around a business that is failing. You have to approach it dispassionately. You have to be ready to make the decisive decisions and take decisive action that will save that business. If you don't do that, that business that you started from nothing, that has been your pride and joy, eventually, unfortunately, you may have to lose that business because your business exists in the marketplace, and the marketplace is run by certain rules and forces, right? You cannot negate or work against those forces. You just have to understand that your business is within that context. And I'm very sure you're going to learn a lot of things in that course that will help you make the right moves that will save that business. So see you inside of the BMG. Cheers.